Okay, this is another one from Mr. Armstrong. Let's just see in verse. He might have thought something was justified. Lately, he justifying something maybe. Let's just fail. Okay, let's see what this is. He was a trailblazer, or he wanted jointness with a trailblazer. Anything like that. Back then or now. Let's just flow. Let's just see. Trying to get to the end of the story for Mr. A.J. Armstrong. The murder of his parents, who stood accused at one point, but it was a mistrial 2 times. Okay. Either back then he saw a doctor and a nurse, or right now in his life he's going to see a doctor and a nurse. Because it says right here, lately he justifies something, or someone else is going to justify something. Court system or whoever, I don't know. Okay, it says right here, he got a small trinket. Back then he had it, or now he have it. Could be a cross, it could be anything, right? That's why we can't make it. It's challenging for him right now in his life. They light green, you might can't see it. It's challenging in his life right now, or back then in his life, where he feel like that's why we can't make it. Maybe with his parents back then, or maybe right now as far as his lawyers, the court, the neighbor, the people in general, or whatever, I don't know, in the world. He needed to let spirit in back then in his life, boom. Or right now in his life, he needed to let spirit in, let God in. Okay, they noisy. Okay, activity is on his phone, but his phone is locked right now, turned off. Or back then, some kind of activity was on his telephone at that time period, but the telephone is probably gone, locked, it's probably off, probably destroyed, or whatever's going on there, if it's back then. Okay, it says someone did something by a certain time of the month. It don't have to be the 15th, and this is not the person's name, this is just an example by God. Everything is examples on the card. It just stands for a man did something by a certain date. So Mr. Armstrong could have did something by a certain date of the month back then in his life, or right now, or somebody he know, however it's going. The next one is, he was so smart, or he felt someone was so smart back then, well done. Or someone told him, well done back then, well done back then, or right now in his life. Someone feel like he's so smart, or he feel like somebody's so smart in the present, right now, where he gonna feel well done, or back then, however it's going. Okay, it says right here that he was being molded into what he really wasn't back then by his parents, or right now in his life into what he's not. Okay, he had to start to see what others was doing to keep him stuck back then in his life, from his parents, his brother, his friends, or whoever, his classmates, or whoever, to people he dealing with right now in his life. The court system, his lawyers, or whoever God talking about in his present, whoever it is. It says right here, back then, God wanted him to make arrangements to get out of that camp. That means get out. So he needed to get out of his home. If he had problems with his parents, he needed to get out of his home. Or he was making arrangements his own self to get out of that camp, to make a change. Or right now, in his life right now, he making arrangements to get out of that camp. That means he want to be out of the court system once and for all. Yeah. Okay, it says right here, or if he in jail any kind of way, he want to get out, anything like that. Okay, the total community, that means everybody involved. If he in court, everybody in the courtroom, or if he in a police station, everybody in the police station, in the jail, in his neighborhood, or whoever this is, in the church, or whoever this is, the total community, whoever it is, the jury, whoever it is somebody, a group of people. With a group of people. It says right here, he had to see that he is worth $1 million plus more, God says, and get out of the circle to keep him stuck. and dealing with this situation keeps him stuck. Or back then in his life, he was in circles that kept him stuck back then. It says that who's proud of him? He should be proud of his own self because he is wonderful. Or back then, he felt like he was proud of himself, or he wanted to be proud of himself because he was wonderful, he felt like. If not then, now, let's flow. Okay, he wanted jointness back then with somebody who was a trailblazer, or somebody back then wanted jointness with him because he was a trailblazer. Or right now in his life, he want jointness, or somebody want jointness with him because he a trailblazer, or somebody he know right now is a trailblazer. Okay, we have right here that back then he is a workhorse. Back then, follow me. Teaching children is his path. Follow me. Next card is this one here. I think it was a witness some kind of way that saw him somewhere back then, or he saw someone somewhere. Usually somebody saw him somewhere because he is his storyline, is a witness, right? Or we dealing with court. I mean, we dealing with the present. Somebody gonna see him somewhere, wherever it is. Okay, he was sticking around fire back then in his life, or right now in his life, with no nonsense lessons. He not learning his lessons. That's what the card means. Okay, it says right here, you light up. You're that light. Mention us. So this could have to be me right now, the brass loved one. I'm that light. And this would be the parents. Mention us. Mr. and Mrs. Armstrong want to be mentioned because I'm that light and they want me to mention them. Okay. So we have the next card is release your loved ones. Is okay for him to release his loved ones. You are still here. He need to enjoy his life. Alright. So maybe with his parents right here saying to him, you still have life, enjoy your life. Okay, it says right here that back then he needed to filter it, his parents or somebody need to filter it, or right now in his life. Somebody was gift seeking back then, or he was back then in his life, or right now in his life. Okay, he was entangled with someone back then in his life, or now, wondering is it his fault. Okay, we got the portal, television, YouTube, FaceTime, TikTok, Instagram, any of those places, or actual television. There's some kind of way he's going to be on. Follow me? He's going to be on because if it be another trial, he's going to be on it, but he's on it already anyway. As far as the trials. Okay, he need to elevate himself and rely on himself. Follow me? Okay, he is saying that he is innocent, that he is not guilty, Mr. Armstrong, as far as murdering his parents. Okay, we have this one is the first one. Okay, let's see. Okay, he needs to control himself in his own skin. Back then in his life, he had control, or right now in his life. Okay, he like fashion. Okay, it says right here that he had to become grown to what God, who God intended him to be in life from birth, right? Let your sounds be heard loud and clear. He had to get on a witness stand. The other one was saying that he got to get on a witness stand and let your sounds be heard loud and clear. Okay. Become groomed to what God created him to be at birth, because God don't want him to be molded into what somebody tell him to be like back then with his parents, or right now in his life. He wants structure, or he needed structure back then, and he was stung or right now he wants structure, or he thought he had structure, and he gonna be stung because it's gonna be another trial happening. Okay, here's universe. Universe saying put the brakes on. Stop for right now. Okay, it says right here that it's seed time for him. Or back then he thought it was seed time for him, and it was a sure thing. Or his brother thought it, or his parents thought it, or anything like that. Or right in the present, right now, it's seed time, and it's a sure thing for him. Okay. Okay, we have right here, searching for love. This is a female. Some female is searching for love with a player. So either he is the player, and we got a female that was searching for love with him right now, or back then, a female. Okay, but God want him to turn into a new version of Mr. Armstrong, AJ. Okay, so we have, he got a sheltered mind and past and present mind. Do you really believe what you hear? So did he really believe what he heard back then, whatever it was to hear, or now? Or do somebody he know believe what they hear? Whoever this is, right? Do you know and believe as far as God? Did he believe and know as far as God, whatever religion he might have been taught back then? Did he really even believe that? Or did he know it to be true, or now in his life? Having faith. Follow me? So let's just see. Okay, let's see. We're going to take this next one.